Hey everybody, hope you guys are all doing okay. Welcome back to our Might and Magic VIII completionist 100% run. Now, I'd like to apologize in advance because this episode is going to be a very long and very grindy one. I said at the beginning of the series there was going to be a bit of grinding to do, and this is definitely one of those things that can only be done through grinding. Specifically, in this episode, we are going to be getting, we're going to be taking care of all of the other stat pedestals that remain for us. Now, one thing that I've done, I have taken the liberty of drawing up a bit of a table. I'll pop it up right now. And this table will show you which of these pedestals remain for us to find. I figured it would help you follow along because I'm keeping track of it on my own on, an actual sheet. And every time I've found one, I've told you which one we've gotten and I've marked it on my sheet, but I figured this way it's a nice visual representation of what I am seeing on my sheet and what the game is keeping track of, but which it doesn't, unfortunately, visually tell us. But I think displaying it in this way in table form, number one, it's convenient, certainly much better than me just telling you and you having to remember which ones we found, which ones we haven't. So it's better in that way, but also looking at it this way should help you understand why I'm going through the effort of finding all of these to begin with when almost nobody else cares about them, and we don't even need the paltry skill point offerings that they would have for us if we did beat their challenges. The reason I'm doing them is because they are a collectible in this game. You can only beat them once per skill, per pedestal type, per stat type, and as you can see in this 4x7 table, there's one of each to be found, and I am just a sucker for collectibles, so I do indeed want them all. And we're going to be getting all of them in this game, in this episode. The way it's going to work is the main issue is the column on the far left, the game column, and that's because there is only one game pedestal in the entire game, and that is in the Daggerwound Island area, which has a 2-year reset timer, which means in order to get the remaining 3, we will have to force that area to reset 3 times, which means we're going to have to force the game to advance 6 years of its own internal time. Now, game years are different from real world years in that every month is 4 weeks exactly, that's 28 days. 12 months in a year, that's 28 times 12, 336. We are going to need 3 of those years to pass. We're going to need 6 of those years to pass to get the area to reset 3 times. So 6 times 336 is a little bit less than 2,000, I think 1,908. That's the amount of time we're going to pass. The good news is we are going to have some tricks up our sleeve to help that go a bit more quickly. The bad news is there is going to be a bit of save scumming involved because we won't necessarily be given the pedestal type that we need when the area does reset. So we're going to have to make sure that we get the one that is actually on our list. Anyway, with that intro out of the way, we've got to get going. But before we get going, there are a few preparations that we need to make. Specifically, Veteranus here needs to set a few different beacons. One other thing that's going to slow us down is that periodically I'm going to need Veteranus to refresh the beacons that he's setting. And you might wonder why I'm flying all the way here to this part of the map. Why am I bothering to set a beacon in an area that is already a town portal destination? Well, I'll... Oh, I don't want to make the map transition. I want to set the beacon right in front of this contest of accuracy, which unfortunately isn't one of the ones we need. But I'm going to set a beacon in front of it. Because we do need 2 contests. If you remember the table I showed earlier on, we need the... Oh god, get lost. Get lost, guys. God, come on. This isn't the time or the place. Okay. We need the contests of personality and endurance. And when Ravenshore resets, rather than having to town portal here, fly all the way here, check if it's the right contest, and then do this multiple times when we're save scumming, I'll just set a beacon right in front of the contest, and then we can go to the beacon directly. For similar reasons, I'm going to go to Murmur Woods, and I'm going to fly to the northeast. I really wish you had more points to put into water magic, because it would help a lot if your beacons were a bit longer lived. This is a contest of speed, which we also don't need, but again, I'm gonna set a beacon right in front of it. And this is gonna replace our old Murmurwoods beacon. That was for the Unicorn King. We are done with that. And also, I want to...
Come on, let's go in!
Make sure that our beacon inside the dragon... Ooh, diamond. That our beacon inside the dragon cave treasure room
Leave it.
is also...
Worthless.
That we also don't let that expire. Okay.
Leave it.
Sadly, because we have a different objective for this episode, we're not going to be able to really take advantage of this beacon. But I promise you, in a future episode, I will show you how to use a beacon inside the Dragon Cave to cheese your way to all kinds of awesome treasure. But we need to set this beacon. Okay. Now we're done with our initial preparation. So I'm going to save my game here. Actually, you know what? I'm going to save my game again. I'm going to save it after he's ready to cast, because the first thing we're going to do is we want to go to Alvar. Now, I know Alvar has reset, because I noticed it while I was doing some between-episode testing. By the way, the testing that I do is with copies of saves, so there's no chance of the actual save, like, you know, the main series save of being corrupted. But while I was doing my testing, I noticed that Alvar had reset. Now, we need this to be the test of speed, which is the last one we need. So we're gonna have to do a bit of save scumming right off the bat. But this will be the last test that we need, and after that we can just forget all about Alvar. Now, sadly, we do not have a beacon in the place that we need it. So this is gonna be... Oh, hey, we didn't have to do a lot of save scumming at all. Test of speed. Let's go. Let's go. Everybody gets +7. Everybody gets +7. One other thing I'm gonna do is, let's go back to Ravenshore. I want to give this guy a few extra skill points just to make his water magic stronger. Yeah, like... Oh, like, he can gain a level too, and we're gonna be gaining levels soon. And, yep, Might, that's some extra skill points, and I'm gonna go to Shadowspire, and I'm gonna check if maybe he can take advantage of the contest, of the challenge pedestal, rather. That is in this corner of the map. We've already gotten challenge pedestals done because, remember, my stipulation was that only the main character, who is, you know, the only permanent character, he's the only one who needs to beat these stat pedestals for the purposes of the series, but for the sake of practicality, it's still good to have your other characters beat them as well. So please, please. Yes, that's fantastic. Okay, now that can immediately give you more points in water magic, and if he levels up once, I think I might be able to get another point. Another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to even recall these two beacons and see if maybe Veteranus can get something out of it. +5. I'm glad I checked. Now I'm going to need you to... Yep. Recall this. And another +5. Oh, and immediately that's taken it to 20. So that's pretty good. Can we push it even further? Are there any good beacons that are... any good pedestals that are available? There's one in Regna. This is a bit of a gamble. But if it pays off, and if we're able to get more skill points out of this, this could be worth it. Now, there is a challenge pedestal somewhere towards the south of the island. That is that's a different kind of pedestal that gives a buff. I think this light here is... Have we... Oh, we've already done this. Okay, never mind. We still got some good skill points out of that. Anyway, now let's start our grindy part of the episode. We're actually gonna have to cast another beacon in front of this place, the Black Company. Actually, we don't need a beacon in front of it because it's pretty close to where Town Portal takes us. What I was gonna say was we need to be coming to this place frequently because we're gonna have to buy food, and this place is or rather the food that this place gives us is going to be a crucial part of how we're able to advance a lot of in-game time. Now, before we resort to that, we have other ways of advancing in-game time, chiefly training. Okay. Now, what are we gonna do? You are out of levels to gain. And, save in this slot. You have one level. Let's start by resting.
We can train.
I'll start by leveling you up once.
Very good.
That gave you... you're gonna need another 10 skill points if you want to advance again.
We can train. Very good.
Now I'm gonna start by training
We
you.
can train. Very good.
One day at a time. How far do we want to get? Well, we want to get to around January 1180.
We can very good.
That is a
We can
long
train
time
very
indeed.
good. We can very good. We can
That is
very
when
good.
the Dagger Wound Island
train very
region
good.
will
We can train very
next reset. Now, a lot of our characters actually need to train. You need to train, you need to train, and they all have a bunch of levels to gain. She can go all the way from 49 to 88. That's 39 levels. He can go from 53 to... that's 40 whole levels. So that's a large chunks of our time that are going to be consumed
train
by
you very
training.
good. We can train you very good. We can train you very good. We can train very good.
Keep on
We
going.
can train very good.
And one frequent comment that I've been making in this series is coming back to haunt me. It's when I said that we'll never have to worry about money. We might actually we might actually have to worry about money pretty soon, because 40 levels to this guy, 39 to her, more to her. We're gonna need a bit of
Very
cash just to make sure that we stay topped up. So what I'm gonna do is actually, I'm gonna recall the beacon to the dragon cave, have you reset. No, but we can pick stuff up and sell it, I guess. We don't have Sorry Blackthorn in our party. What I'll do is, and this isn't even good stuff to sell. I guess we could sell that. Well, there are other ways to make money. There are other ways to make money. We'll, for now, just go back to Shadowspire. It's now November 1178. We've nearly killed 1 year of in-game time. 1 out of 6. 1 out of 6. You know what? I think we've got plenty of money.
We can train you very good. We can train very
Keep going.
We can very good. We can very
And
good.
at this point, I'm going to... well, no, we can keep going.
We can very good. We can very good.
I'll save just to make sure I don't overshoot.
We can
Because I think we can do
we can very
2 more.
good.
And now we need to refresh all of these beacons. We'll just do them one at a time. Oh, and this beacon has a... well, this area has reset. Now, which contests did we need? Not the contest of speed, which you've already won. Like, which even he has already won, so we're going to load our autosave. Sadly, I'm gonna have to wait until... oh, my paper slipped. Let me move it. So, save over this. Cast invisibility. Actually, that's not going to work, because the moment we cast Lloyd's Beacon, it's going to undo the invisibility. Well, it doesn't matter, because recall Murmurwoods until we see personality or endurance, and this is personality, so that's good. So 1, 2... okay, hang on. This sucks. Because I'm going to have to cast Day of the Gods. And now everybody can... You know what? I'm gonna actually back away and I'm gonna cast invisibility and then we'll come back. Or, you know what? Like, why am I backing away? Let's just kill these guys. Yeah, let's make the area safe by just getting rid of all the enemies. Like, I wonder why my instinct is to always just sneak in with invisibility when this is so much easier. Okay. So much easier. Yeah, we'll save here. You've won. You've won. You get skill points. You get skill points. Now you've won. And now you get skill points. That's great. And I am gonna reset this beacon because I do think this area is gonna reset before Ravenshore does. So I'll set it there. Now we just need to go back to Ravenshore, do the same thing. This is still... Well, we know the area hasn't reset because these dead wolves are still there. I guess, in a way, it's good that the wolves attacked us because now we know, by the fact that their corpses are still there, that the area hasn't reset. So that's done. Oh, by the way, we beat the contest of personality. I'm gonna make a note of that. This is gonna help me. So I'm basically gonna have to make 7 different versions of the table. The one I showed you at the beginning, plus a new version for each of the 6 remaining pedestals. And the second one that we found out of the 6 that we needed at the start of this episode was the contest of personality. So that's done. Hey, let me make sure that I'm correct about that. Yes, contest of personality. Okay. Additionally, I'm gonna recall the Dragon Cave beacon, reset that. Oh, and as we see, the place has reset and we found more money.
Worthless. Leave it.
I will even... I'll even pick up some extra stuff
I can't help you.
to sell
Worthless.
if it's a decent price.
Worthless. Worthless.
Because what I'll do is, after Leanne is done training, I will swap her out for Sorry Blackthorn, and then Sorry can sell the stuff that we're holding on to here. I'll put it off to the side, the stuff that we're selling. All this. Ooh, and we can even sell all of these gems. So I think we're gonna be fine for money. I was just panicking earlier for no reason. Don't mind me. We're gonna go back to Shadowspire. We're gonna carry on training. Ooh, another thing is every 6 months the Garrote Gorge exterior will also reset. So the question is, do we also want to be picking up those horseshoes? I think the answer has to be yes. And just because it's going to kill, you know, more in-game time, I'm going to make the overland transition to Garrote Gorge rather than just go out from the Dragon Cave. it might not be efficient in terms of in-game days per real world time spent, but honestly, I feel like if you're always taking the shortest possible path, even while grinding, it can get repetitive to the point of being mind-numbing, and sometimes doing things in a less efficient way and just taking the long way around can help make the entire process just easier on your mental health, even if it takes like 10 minutes longer overall. At least that is my opinion. I'm gonna put one more point into light magic, or well, I'll start by putting one more point into light magic, and then the question is, do I want to continue hogging all the skill points, or do we want to give some to Veteranus to boost his water magic? And I think we don't really need to give him skill points to boost his water magic, because it won't make that much of a difference. It might mean like we have to do the beacon resetting like one less time, but that's like one less instance of having to go here and do this maintenance. But you know what, that's not ultimately that convincing. Okay, what's the next thing that we want to do? I think we just go back to Shadowspire and we continue training. But I'm not going to be super diligent about going back to the Dragon Cave and to Gorod Gorge every 6 months on the dot. I'll just go there occasionally.
We can train you. Very
All right.
good. We can
Continue training.
We can train you. Very good. We can very good. We can very good. We can very good. We can very good.
All right, we are well into 1179. We've killed more than 1 year of game time. And now you are out of level, so you've also gained a gargantuan 385 skill points, which are all going to go into Grandmaster, Arms Master. Oof. That is scary, actually. Look at that. Even without our buffs, this is the kind of damage that she does. What I'll do as a bonus, at the end of this video, after we're done grinding, as a bonus to you and to me, I'll show you what kind of damage she does with this kind of Arms Master and all of our buffs on her. But for now, I think we're just gonna leave it at that. Okay, in fact, what we're gonna do is just checking that our beacons are still good. In fact, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go back to well, there's one important thing that we have not done, and that is there is one last beacon that we need to set. And that is in front of the game in the Daggerwound Island region. So... and there's a barrel as well, red barrel. I'm just gonna yoink that. In fact, I'll take all these barrels. Purple barrel as well. You know what? You can have that. And blue barrel, I'll just steal that one as well. Now this was the Game of Might, which is the one that we beat the last time we were here. I'm going to set a beacon in front of this. It's going to be a little bit inefficient because it's out of sync with the others, but what I'll do is when I'm doing the maintenance on the other beacons, I'll just come around and, like, in that cycle, I'll reset this one, and then they'll all be in sync. I'm gonna go to Raven Shore. I am going to, as mentioned, drop off
Welcome,
Leanne.
adventurer.
Wait,
Welcome, adventurer.
for some reason that welcome adventurer voice sounded a bit odd to me. Leanne looks a bit angrier this version of her portrait. Look, just relax. We'll have you back pretty soon, but we just need... Sorry, back. Briefly. I'm gonna give her... Oh, I did say I was holding on to gems to show a secret later on. That is a bit of a conundrum, and I don't remember which ones are safe to sell and which ones aren't. Well, we can start by just selling,
We can outfit you.
obviously not needed things like those ones. And really, we just have 2 more characters to level up, so I think gonna be fine. It'll actually be very tight. How am I gonna make a bunch of money quickly? I'll keep 1 of every gem. I really only need 1 of every gem for the thing that I'm thinking of. And I can sell all the others. So these look similar, but they're different. And that. And the rest we're just gonna sell. Some of these are probably even redundant. But it's fine. All right. All right, now let's just sell the stuff.
Rarities from across the land.
See how much of a buffer that gives us. I don't accidentally sell. Well, we can't sell this to this kind of shop anyway, so that helps us out a little bit, I guess. And these were the ones that we were holding on to for.
Business was a pleasure.
Ooh, and we can also start opening regular chests. We're not that desperate though. Or are we? No, we're not. No, we're not. Okay. Now it's time to start training. Now it's time to start training you. I am actually getting slightly nervous about the amount of money that we have. But you know what? It's fine. You know what? Let's go to the Daggerwood Islands. I'm just gonna check. Has the plane of Earth reset? Because if it has, we can make a... If it hasn't, we can make a decent amount of money by looting the corpses there. This is really adding to the runtime of this episode, but you know what? It's gotta be done. Oh, the place has reset. This is a bunch... this is actually pretty bad. So... You know what? We can make do with what we have. We can make do with what we have. It's fine. It's fine. It'll be tight, though. But I think we can do it. We'll train Ithilgor, and then we'll see how much money we have left. We'll train you first, because you don't have merchant.
We can train.
And we'll see what that puts us at. Okay.
We can train. Very
One.
good. We can train very good. We can very good. We can train very good. We can 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 very
9,
good. We can
10,
we can train very
11,
good. We can very
12.
we can train you. Very
13. I
good.
think we are fine, right? Yeah, we're just barely fine. So I'm gonna save the game here again. I'm gonna recall the beacons one by one, starting with you. And as we can tell by the lack of enemies bothering us, this place has not reset yet. But we'll set a beacon over it. And we'll just quickly do the others. I'll do Ravenshore. As we can tell by this dog who's just sleeping. He's sleeping. Don't worry about him. He's fine. But as you can tell by this motionless dog behind this pedestal, this area also has not reset. We're just gonna refresh this beacon. And I don't think this place will have reset yet.
It's a little dark in here.
Oh no, it has, because somebody did say something. That means it has. That means we can grab another pile of gold. Another
Leave it.
very nice thing to sell.
This is useful.
Oh, what a clutch find.
Leave it.
I'm getting bailed out
Worthless.
after all
Worthless.
the time that I spent
I have no idea.
arrogantly claiming I'd never have to worry about money, and then I'm nearly forced to choke on my words, but
I have no
right at the
idea
end,
what that is.
Leave it.
I'll get bailed out. That's what I love about the RNG in video games. It's pretty beautiful. Once again, let's do a lap of Garrote Gorge exterior as well, but first let's sell some of this stuff. We need to sell a few things to the armor shop.
Outfit you.
And we need to sell this to the weapon shop. Just gotta make sure I don't accidentally sell that, because
Our axes are the
he
best.
will buy it for a lot of money, but just only sell him that and nothing else. Okay. And we can also hand in these forged credit vouchers to somebody in Ravage Roaming for a bit of extra money, but I don't think we're gonna need to go that far. We're training you. We'll spend your skill points once you are fully done training, but I don't think we were fully done with our beacons. No, we still need to refresh this beacon and then refresh the Daggerwound Island beacon. Set this beacon there. Recall this beacon, which is still the Game of Might, because the place hasn't reset. I'm almost tempted to kill these villagers, because it'll be an easy way for us to tell whether this island has reset. But I'm not gonna do it. Instead, what I'll do is I will... You see these blue dots around the map? I'll pick them up, because they shouldn't respawn unless the area resets. And then there's one on the other side. I'm just gonna be thorough about it. Because I don't want to leave some of them and then every time I come back I'll be like, oh, has it reset? When it actually is just something I forgot to pick up. Where are you? There you are. There you are. And we did indeed do the beacon, right? Yes, we did. Okay, now we can just go back to Shadowspire and continue training properly. How much money are we gonna have left? Ooh, these chests might have some okay amount of gold.
Leave it.
But
Leave it.
they don't. But they do not. Ooh, another couple of
Worthless.
you can sell that.
Worthless. Worthless.
You can sell that as well.
Leave it.
White barrel, I'll take. More luck for me. I'll even take endurance. Some gems to sell
Worthless.
as well, and you can sell that as well. We'll just sell it to the magic shop that's right here in town. This place. Mystical
Collection of heirloom art.
Mayhem. And I don't think we need telekinesis anymore. I'll hold on to it. I'll hold on to it.
Come back soon.
It doesn't take up that much space. Alright, now let's go back to our training. Where was the training hall? I think I flew the... yeah. Went the wrong way. It's right here. Alright.
We can train you. Very good.
We are
We can train very
late in
We can very
1179.
We can train very good. We can 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 train very good. We can very good. We can very
Doing it 1 week at a
We
time,
can train very
exiting in between every training session, because I found that sometimes
We can train very
if you just stay in the inn and in the training hall and you click multiple times,
very
sometimes the
We
game
can train
time
very good. We can train
doesn't
very good.
elapse
train
the way that it's supposed to. Okay, so now we're in January. So now we need to start checking. Well, it would help if we had Wizard Eye. Now we need to start checking if this place is reset. So not now, okay?
We can train you. Very good.
Wait 1 more week. Cast Wizard Eye again. Save again. Portal again, or beacon again. And now, immediately I can see the blue dots, and that means the place has reset. And it has even given us the Game of Intellect, which is one of the ones we need. You failed the game, well, you know what, Day of the Gods. Even this trivial +3, I want everyone else to get it if they can. Just because we might as well. No point just leaving skill points untaken. Alright, that means the third version of this table that I'm going to show, which I'll pop up right now, is that we have just done the... This table will show that we've just done the Game of Intellect. Okay. Now... once again, I'm going to do a circuit. I'm going to run around, pick up I guess I don't have to pick up all of the things on the island. I just have to pick up a few, because... Or, like, even a single one. Because they'll all reset at the same time, and I believe they'll all be the exact same type of reagent as well. But... I just... To be honest, I don't know why I'm doing this. I think just something about seeing all of the blue dots come back feels a little bit more satisfying, and that's the only answer I have for you. And of course, these barrels have also come back. So, just a trivial amount of permanent stats as well. I'll take those. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And now, let's make a note of what the date is. So 18th January is okay in terms of coming back to this place. Let's go back to Shadowspire and let's continue with our... Ooh. This map has also reset, so I'll take the green barrel and the green barrel and these horseshoes. Can I get one more point of light magic? Maybe, maybe not. Can you get one more point of water magic? Let's see. I'll preemptively cast Day of the Gods just in case you don't have enough of whatever stat it is. If indeed it is a new one, which it might not be, and if it isn't, I'm not going to save scum just for this one dude's sake. We're just going to do a quick flyby. Ah, it was one of the ones he needed. So we're fine. And just to speed things up, I'm going to portal back to Shadowspire. And as soon as you're ready, we'll put one more point into water magic. Just a slight bit of extra duration on those beacons. And I will go back to training.
We can train you. Very good.
1,
We can train you. Very
2,
good. We can train. Very
3,
good. We can very
4.
good.
What's our beacon situation? Getting close.
We can train.
But I think we can do 5 more.
Very
1,
good. We can very
2,
good. We can train.
3,
We can very
4,
good. We can train. Very
5. And that's exactly all of your levels. So one by one we have to recall all of these beacons. So for this one, well, Wizard Eye will help us if there are enemies around and we want to make the area safe again. So let's recall Murmur Woods. Oh, there are enemies around. And we need the contest of endurance. Okay. So let's do this until we get the one that we need. Come on, Murmur Woods. We desperately need you to pay out for us. And to not make us wait a crazy amount of time, which can sometimes happen, as we've seen during some of my previous save scumming attempts. We're looking for endurance, right? It would suck if I got the correct one and then accidentally just loaded my game anyway just because of, you know, muscle memory. But endurance. I have to remind myself every time which one I'm looking for. Endurance. Endurance. not endurance, so we are going to load our game. So glad we have beacons. So glad we don't have to like fly all the way. This does speed things up a lot, but it doesn't address the fact that like we do ultimately still need to do the save scumming, and sometimes it just will not cooperate, and it seems like we're having a stretch of bad luck where we are not getting the thing that we want. Not endurance means no deal. Personality was the previous one that we needed, which we've seen multiple times now. Now that we no longer need it, which of course is another thing that seems to always happen with RNG in video games, even though statistically it can't, but it seems to happen just because we remember things more strongly when they annoy us. Is that once you no longer need something, when you then get it again and again, it really grinds a lot of people's gears, including mine. Okay. We finally got the contest that we needed, and we're just gonna... Hey, where are you going?
I'm badly hurt. Oh, yes.
What? Wait! How'd you... These basilisks are ruining me! What's going on? What's going on? What happened? Anyway, let's not bother about that. Let's finally get our +5 skill points apiece. And let me mark down on my piece of paper, and you should be seeing on the screen right now that we have done the final contest. We just did the contest of endurance, and that means all of the contests are done. That means... really, that's a very good thing. That means we don't have to worry about these two beacons anymore. We only have to do maintenance on these two beacons, which I'm happy about.
It's a little dark in here.
Ooh, and speaking of beacons, this place is also reset
Worthless.
with new goodies, which I'll pick up.
Leave it.
Give us a bit of an extra cash boost.
Worthless.
And I think with the small amount of extra cash we're getting just from
Leave it.
Garrote Gorge, from the Dragon Cave resetting,
Worthless.
including that one antique weapon which sold for 16,000,
Worthless.
I think we're gonna be fine for money. A few things to sell. So once again, let me do my thing where I start off in Ravenshore. Oh, we don't have flight. And I'll sell the items. Then I'll go over land to Garrote Gorge. Oh, the other reason I don't want to go by coach to Garrote Gorge or through the Dragon Cave is I don't want to deal with enemy, like hostile things right close to me. I find that stressful and annoying.
Our axes are the
And I don't want to have to do that, you know, save load trick every time, which you have to do if you're making your exit through the Dragon Caves. So you've already done that, right? Yeah. Okay. Let's go. Let's go. before I make a huge mistake, I didn't actually refresh this beacon, and if I'd made the overland transition, then the beacon would have expired. Wow. Just barely caught myself in time, and same goes for this beacon. They're now lasting 217 days. Alright, now let's go back. In fact, here's one thing we can do. The last thing we'll do with this beacon is we'll recall it. Because it makes the overland trip to Garrote Gorge very quick. In fact, for that reason, I'll even keep this beacon. Okay, now let's make the overland journey again. Cast flight, just say hi to our old friends, the dragon hunters. Look how excited they are. They're rushing out to greet us. I'll just see what's inside these chests. Pick up some stuff. Just ooh. Look, guys. I know you're excited, but we gotta run actually. And they seem to be focusing down Ithilgor, which actually makes sense with them being dragon hunters. This is one of the rare instances where I don't mind the game's otherwise annoying thing that monsters will focus on particular party members. Because other times it doesn't, like some random animal just hates clerics for no reason. Like some of them are just really like obtuse in terms of how the monsters are scripted, but this one actually does make a kind of sense. Okay, let's get back to Shadowspire. Before we go to training, let's give you a bunch of skill points. Let's see what sort of damage you're doing. It's pretty high, but we don't have our buffs yet. Oh, it's gonna take a ton of skill points before we are able to put even one more point into light magic, but I think every point we can put is worth it. Okay. Okay, now we have 40 more levels to gain for Ithilgor. So let's just do it. Do you have any things to sell? It's the status on our beacons. They're fine, that one's gone. Didn't care about it anyway. Alright, so let's just... So 40 levels will be 320 days.
We can train you very.
So we can't go through all of them in one go. In fact...
We can very good. We can very good.
Oh, I made a mistake. I accidentally double-clicked. I accidentally double-clicked. Okay, yeah. So let's go back to Shadowspire and let's not make that mistake. And let's actually save our game properly. Another barrel, I'll grab that. Alright, save our game in front of the training hall this time. Okay, now put all these points back into Dagger. You can see her damage going up as we put more points into it. And I think it means that when she does triple damage, it'll be a multiplier on this, which If that's how it works, which I'm not 100% sure. Ooh, you also have levels to gain. Oh, this is great. Oh, but it does mean we're gonna need more money. So you know what? Money is gonna be tighter than I thought. It's gonna be much tighter than I thought. Ooh, but you also have merchant, so it's yeah, no, we'll have plenty.
I have no idea what that
We'll have plenty. It's not even. Let's not even worry. I love how rapidly I'm oscillating between oh nothing to worry about and being like oh we're screwed.
Worthless.
And honestly, I kind of don't know
Leave it.
which side of it we're gonna land on by the end of all this. But I think if we keep collecting stuff to sell with every reset of the dragon cave, I think we'll have enough. I think we'll have enough. Emphasis on I think. Anyway, what are we doing right now? What we're doing is we want to see. Okay, so we haven't started training. What we want to do is so 25 times 8 is 200. So we can train 26 times and still be safe.
We
Yeah,
can
so
train.
let's go ahead and do that.
Very good. We can 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 very
6,
good. We can
7,
we can
8,
very good. We can
9,
we can
10,
we can
11,
we can
12,
we can
13. And we can do another 13.
We can train
1,
we can
2,
we can
3,
we can
4,
we can train
5,
we can
6,
we can
7,
we can
8,
we can
9,
we can
10,
we can
11,
we can
12. I just want to make sure I've yeah, we can train once more. 13. And now we need to start doing our beacon maintenance. Okay. Okay. So first things first. We'll start by just resetting this beacon without even bothering about this because we've gotten all the contests. We'll just set it. We should have done that one last because then we could have made the overland trip right from it. But it's fine. Now we'll do this one. The area has not reset. Obviously, it's every 2 years, and we are very far from the next reset. But the reason we can tell at a glance that it hasn't reset is because those blue dots are not back yet. And now finally, let's go to the dragon cave.
What lies ahead?
Once again, it's refreshed with a
Worthless.
more gold, some piles of gold.
Worthless.
Devil bone bow, if it was... You know what? You don't have a bow, right? You actually do not have a bow. So, you know what? You just equip that. Alright.
I can't help you.
Leave it.
Anything that's more than 1,000,
Leave it.
I'll pick up to sell.
I have no idea what that
Leave
is.
it. Worthless.
That's pretty good. Sell that. Whoa, what's this? We've already seen that? Okay. And these are just random reagents and a crappy staff. Okay. Next, we'll make our overland transition. Oh, well. First, let's fix this beacon. Now we'll do our overland transition. To Grot Gorge. This time I'll cast Flight first, then Invisibility, just to make sure that we're not bothered by our friends, our enemies, our frenemies, the
I wish I knew. I wish I knew.
dragon hunters, as we swoop in to... Okay, I guess... Okay, this is on a 1-year cycle, and the cave is on a 6-month cycle. That's fine. That's fine. That just means that with our beacon maintenance done, we go back to Shadowspire. And we... What do we do? Well, let's start off by selling some of this junk, and then we'll just go back to training. Just go back
Selection of heirloom
to training.
artifacts. Come back soon.
Alright. And a couple barrels that we can snag along the way as well. Okay. Now we can go back to training. You have... How many levels left to gain? 14. We can just go all the way.
We can very good. We can very. We can very good. We can very.
4.
We can very good. We can very. We can very good. 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 We can very good.
Okay, that has brought our money down considerably. I'm also going to put all your points into Dragon Ability. What's your damage at now? Oh, it's pretty high. It has to be high because it doesn't get the bonuses from the light magic spells.
We can train you.
Now we just have to train Sorry Blackthorn. And, Let me check. Has Dragon Cave reset? No, it's still the crappy stuff from before. Okay. So how many more, we can do 12 training sessions. We can do 12 training sessions. So... Again, let's just go to Shadowspire. I think we're gonna have enough. Just barely we're gonna have enough. Just... We're gonna squeeze by, because you need to gain how many levels? 30. And... It is going to get more expensive with each level you gain. But I think we'll just... I don't know. It's gonna be... Ooh, this helps. A little bit, maybe?
Worthless. Leave it.
I'm even
Worthless.
gonna start picking up
Leave
junk.
it. Worthless.
If it
Leave
has
it.
some sort of enchantment on it that we can sell. Ooh. Okay. More horseshoes.
Worthless. Leave it.
I'll sell that.
Leave it.
That's 1,000. I'll sell that.
Worthless.
It's gonna be very close, actually. Oof. Ooh, you know, one thing that I... Well, let's sell the stuff here first.
Collection of heirloom artifacts.
We can't sell the armor here.
Come back soon.
One thing that I haven't done is I haven't looted the tree in Ravenshore. Now this should have, like, you know, the secret chest, the one with the artifact that we've no longer had a need to loot. I'm not gonna remember where this thing is. I think it was past the yeah, it was this one, wasn't it? This tree? Yeah. Well, that's a very nice suit of leather armor,
Worthless.
which
Leave
gives us a bit of money. I'll even sell that. Okay. I'll portal to town to save a bit. I was saying, I'll portal to town, save a bit of time, and
I don't know it.
and these barrels have reset. Of course, we don't care about them that much, but if they've reset, then that means these horseshoes are back, which we do care about. And that means maybe you can get another 10 skill points. At this point, Veteraness has gotten most of the challenges, so I'll probably stop doing this because it's not gonna make that much of a difference. No, we're just gonna sell these bits of armor.
We can outfit you.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Small bit of extra cash. Okay. Now, what's the status on our... We said we could train 12 more times. Okay. So let's start by training 12 times. Then we'll reset our beacons and train more times. All right.
Very good. We can very good. We can
3,
we can
4,
we can
5,
we can
6,
we can
7,
we can
8,
we can
9,
we can train
10,
we can
11,
we can
12. Yep, let's recall all our beacons. Starting with this one. And I'll cast Wizard Eye just to confirm that it has not reset. It'll reset in January at the start of next year, which we are still pretty far away from. Alright, now we'll go to the Dragon Cave, which has reset.
We could get hurt.
And I think this has given us
Worthless.
all the money we're gonna need. Some really nice piles of gold.
Worthless.
And a really nice thing to sell.
Leave it.
Despite Ithilgor being underwhelmed, it is
Leave it.
decent value. We picked up everything else, so we might as well pick up the last thing, otherwise it'll feel lonely. Now, let's not forget to actually refresh the beacon. Now, we will recall this beacon. Not even gonna worry about the wolves, we're just gonna refresh the beacon. And we're gonna make the overland transition every 2 cycles of the caves will equal 1 cycle of the exterior map. So this time when we go back, I think... Oh no, it still hasn't reset. Oh no, it has. That chest just spawned with garbage inside it. Alright. This time I was nimble enough to grab everything without needing invisibility. We'll just go back here. I'll give myself all of these horseshoes, and ooh, we are so close to being able to do one more point into light magic. You know what? I am going to stubbornly put all my points into light magic, even though I could start putting them into body magic, but you know what? Nah. No, I just want more and more light magic. So now, just confirm that our beacons are fine. Now, let's go back to Shadow Spire. And do some more training. 19 levels, 18 levels. And we can basically do all 18 of them in one fell swoop. I don't have to count out loud like a simpleton, like I've been doing the last few times. I know I sounded very goofy doing that, like counting, oh, 1, 2, 3, but I just didn't want to make sure I did like one extra, which is very easy to do, and then, you know, destroy all my beacons, because that would be very frustrating. Okay, now that you are done, with you we were just putting points into bow. Yeah. Now your bow damage is actually pretty beefy. Wait, and just to confirm, our beacons are in decent shape. A very nice number of days they've got remaining. Now it's time... Oh, and by the way, we did all our training, and we still have plenty of gold left. What was I even worried about? But one thing you might be wondering about now is, hey, you've gone through all your levels. Like, we even brought back, sorry, Blackthorn for an extra round of leveling up, and you're still very far away. You need to kill, well, a few more weeks to get into 82, but then you need to kill 2 more years after that. How are you gonna do that? This is where this place comes into play. So I'll start off by just doing something. Go to the edge of the map. And I'm gonna make the transition. Then I'll just go back. And then keep going back. And just keep going back. And that has killed 20 in-game days. It's now 13th January, which isn't quite enough. But what we can do now, though, is fill our packs, and we can just keep on wasting time like this, basically 50 days at a time. So it's gonna be very slow, but we're gonna have to kill 2 years basically by this method. Now this is where the really annoying grind comes in. So at this point I'm gonna save my game. And I'm going to cast Wizard Eye. I'm making my way over to the grass just because I am going to be resting. Yep. Because I don't think this area will have reset yet. Oh, it has. It has. That is good. Okay, okay, that is good. And this is the game of speed, which we do need. All right, that's very good. That's fantastic. So, oh, well, hang on. Let me just cast Day of the Gods. So now that I've done all of this, I'm gonna mark off in my sheet of paper, and you should be seeing on the screen right now that we have just beaten the game of speed, which means we only have one thing left to do. There is one more game, the game of accuracy, and in order to do that, we are going to have to kill 2 in-game years. It'll be January 1184. And when we get to that date, we will then be able to save Scum for the final thing. I'm just gonna go around picking up all of these ingredients, just because it's become a bit of a ritual at this point, a tradition, let's say. Yeah, yes, this episode's long enough that we can talk about traditions that developed over the course of it. Okay, let's just pick all of them up. And there's one here. There we go. Should we refresh the beacons? Not yet. Instead, I'm just going to portal to Ravenshore, because it's a quicker... Or maybe it isn't. I was going to say it's a quicker route to the border from here. I guess we don't have to find the road. We can just go to any transition point, and it'll put us on the road. And then we just keep going back and forth and back, and back and forth. And we can do 2 more round trips. And now we are gonna have to fix up our beacons. Do them one by one. Starting with you, because we aren't going to use it this time around. Set a new one. Now you set a new one here. Killed a few months doing that. And let's go back to the Dragon Caves. Even though we have plenty of money, I am going to start...
Come on, let's go in.
I am going to start picking up money.
Worthless.
Just to give ourselves a healthy amount.
Leave it.
In a way, this kind of proves what I've been saying, even though I was briefly in danger of looking really foolish by running out of money. Despite the fact that I've been so,
I have no
you know,
idea what that is.
not on the ball about picking up money, we've still got more than enough money, even though we're like, putting like extra objectives on us, like, you know, spending all the money training and everything. So it just proves what I'm saying, that there is more than enough money in this game.
Leave it.
And it really is harder to lose money than it is to gain it. Okay, now, what are we doing? We have to actually repair the beacon. There we go. Now, yeah, let's go to Ravenshore. We'll make the gotta cast flight. We'll make the transition just over land. And I'll fly to the town. We'll buy 50 more food. I like doing it at this inn because it's very close to a you know, map edge, and also it gives you a large amount of food in one go. So now we basically have to use up all 50 of this food and then go back and rinse and repeat until we've made it to January 1184, which is gonna take a while, but actually not that long. Because the bulk of the time was wasted by just training, and we only had about like slightly less than 2 years to kill by this method. Now you can keep going back and forth even after you run out of food, but eventually your characters they'll go insane and they'll die. And just to speed things up a bit, I'll portal back to town.
Do come in a simple repast.
And we're just gonna keep doing this until we're done. Each time we do it, it kills about a month and a bit. Almost 2 months, because 2 months would be 56 days, and we are killing 50 days every time. And we started off with fewer than 2 years to kill with this method. Or maybe a little bit more than 2 years, I think. Because when we were done training Sauri, we were at December of the year before this, yeah. So slightly over 2 years, and we're killing almost 2 months every time. So it won't take that many cycles off this. And we can do it pretty quickly, as you've seen. So one other thing this episode can serve as is what to do if you need a whole bunch of in-game time to pass for whatever reason. Just like, I don't know, maybe you messed something up on the Ravenshore map and you needed to reset. Or you're like really impatient to get another artifact, but none of the places are ready to give you one yet, and you want to force a time to pass, and you don't know of a convenient way to do it. You've run out of all your training. This is something that you can do. Okay. Keep going, and then we'll do one more full set of 10, and then we'll do some maintenance on our beacons. And the food there is actually pretty expensive. And that's why I'm glad I have, Blackthorn in the party to bring the price down a little bit. But that's one thing I was keeping in mind when I wasn't sure if we'd have enough money. I'm like, we will have to spend money buying food as well. Oh. So let's keep going. Yeah. So at the end of this, we'll have a few extra days. But we'll do the beacon maintenance a bit earlier. I think that'll be better than trying to min-max like the food situation. We'll just every 4 cycles of us spending 50 food, i.e. wasting 50 days, and 4 of those will be 200. So every 200 days we'll fix up our beacons, and our beacons last longer than that. So we wouldn't even gain that much if we were really trying to min-max. Like an extra 16 days wouldn't make the process that much quicker. Because the important thing is that they last for more than 200 days. That was the main benchmark we had to hit with Grandmaster Water Magic. Okay. Buy more food. This time we've got to do all of our beacons again. We are towards the end of 1182. Cast Wizard Die just to prove that the place hasn't reset, even though I know it hasn't, and you know it hasn't. Just to remove all doubt, I'm also going to take a sip of water because my throat is getting very dry with this long episode. That's good. I love water. It's genuinely one of my favorite beverages. Alright, let's go here. Set that there. And this one.
It's a little dark in here.
Ooh, it does have new stuff. Black potion that we perhaps need. Maybe I'll have you pick it up. Maybe we need it, maybe we don't.
Leave it.
And I'm no longer gonna pick up random things just to sell.
Worthless.
Okay. Let's also not forget to actually refresh our beacon. Now, let's go back. I think maybe Garrod Gorge has reset, although at this point, although I'd rather not. It's gonna make the episode run longer, so I will keep that beacon there, and I'll do maintenance on it. But I won't be going back to Garrod Gorge exterior for the rest of this episode. Right now, let's just go back to Shadowspire. And it would have been quicker, I think, from Ravenshore, but it doesn't really matter. Anyway, let's just do our little back and forth dance. Get through this 50 food. And then we'll just have to do it a few more times. Already halfway through. Okay. Very good. Very good. Now we portal back to Shadowspire, even though we're already in the map, because it puts us very close to the inn.
Do come in a simple repast.
Get some more food and do the whole thing all over again. We're in December 1982, nearly killed this year. One more year to go after this. And then we will, well, and then we'll have one last round of saves coming, and then we'll finally be done. But I won't allow myself to celebrate prematurely, just because I know like this last bit is gonna feel like the longest, especially for me. You know what it weirdly feels like? So I work out fairly regularly, and like I work out with weights. I also do cardio, and out of everything I've done, and probably will ever do, cardio is by far the most unpleasant thing
A simple repast.
in my workout repertoire, let's say. And the reason I bring it up is because, like, with cardio, with other types of exercises, it's just about doing reps, and it doesn't take that long. And even if it's really intense, like weighted lunges, those are brutal, but I don't have to do that many of them. But with the cardio, it's less about, like, you know, doing a few reps and getting over it, and more about how much time or how much distance you've covered. And like, I do it based on time, and inevitably, if you're doing an unpleasant thing for a long amount of time, it starts to mess with you. And the way it messes with me is the closer I get to the end of it, the farther the end seems to be. In particular, the last 2 minutes of cardio feel almost as long as everything else I've done put together. And the reason I'm talking about this, you may have already made this connection, is that this exercise, as we get closer to the end, is
Come in a simple
starting to feel like that last 2 minutes left in the cardio session. All of the other effort that we've put in, it's all behind us, but somehow, now that we're at the end, it just seems like the goal is getting further and further away. At least that's what it seems like to me. Like, I'm exaggerating it slightly, because this isn't physically, you know, demanding, unlike cardio. I'm just, you know, walking back and forth. And I'm not even actually walking. A virtual avatar of me is walking back and forth. I'm just sitting on a comfy chair while I'm doing it. But it's still it's mentally draining because of how tedious it is. So in that way, even though we're getting closer, it still feels like we have so much left to do. Okay, now we've got to do our beacon maintenance again, once again. I'll do it one by one. Set the beacon there. We're halfway through the year. Well, less than halfway, but almost halfway. Once again, Wizard Eye, just to show you, it hasn't reset yet. Oh, first of all, we've got to set this beacon. Now, let's go back to the caves. And
Let's
they
investigate.
are once again filled with goodies. Set this beacon. I'll pick up the gold. Ooh, a diamond. That's fantastic.
Leave it.
Fruits of life? Anybody need you know what? You can have these unenchanted boots. We'll save these because maybe when we bring Leanne Stormlance back,
Leave it. Worthless.
maybe she will need resistant to stone. I think I'll keep that one. Pure luck again. Maybe we need it. Maybe we don't. I don't remember.
Leave it.
All right. Okay. Okay. What's going on with that? Nothing there. Okay. Okay. Alrighty then. And let's make sure the beacon has been fixed up. Now let's go back to Shadowspire and do another round of buying 50 food and
Come eat a simple repast.
going back and forth. It's gonna kill another 200 days. I think that might be enough. So 28 times 6 is 168. Oh yeah, this is gonna be more than enough. More than enough. By more than enough, I mean the time on our beacons is going to be more than enough for us to be able to do this without having to restore them. The only thing we'll have to do multiple times is going back to the Shadowspire Inn to buy food. Come on, let's go, let's go. So it's gonna be 3 cycles of this, plus a bit of,
Come in.
plus a bit more. So not a full, you know, spending a whole 50 food, but we'll have to go a bit slower after the third one. We're now going into the second one. This one we can just be on autopilot, just back and forth and back and forth. And for the next one as well, for the one after that is when we're gonna have to start counting the days. Okay, okay, getting there, getting through it. And this is done as well. And let's go back and do it one last time. We are in September.
Come eat a simple repast.
As you can see, we are hacking our way through these last few months. Even though these last few months are perhaps feeling longer and longer the longer we go into this episode, but I do promise you it is a finite amount of time and we will get through it. All right. We're in October now. Nearly the end of October. Okay. Okay, we need the right person to cast the spell. And finally, one last, hopefully last,
Come eat a simple
if I've counted correctly, last instance of us buying the... just to confirm, our beacons have plenty of time left. So let's go back and forth. We're in November now. Soon we will be in December. And around January 18th. I think we are maybe going to have to buy some more food. I was a bit overly optimistic. In my counting. Yeah, we are gonna need more food. I think I was off by 1 month. Like we were in May and I thought we were June, something like that.
Do come eat a simple repast.
And what's... Annoyingly, we are gonna have to do maintenance on our beacons as well. Let's just bite the bullet and do it. Come on. Just 2 more to go. Oh! Okay, come on. I set a beacon when I want... What I should have been doing was recalling it. Like... We're almost at the end. Let's not go off the rails. After all the hard work we've done, let's just bring it home nice and easy. Come on. It's the last time we're gonna have to set these beacons. Alright, and here.
It's a little dark in here.
Once again, this place has
Worthless.
refreshed.
Leave it.
Pick up the gold.
Worthless.
If we see some great item on the ground, we'll pick that up.
Worthless.
I'm not seeing anything too exciting. And then there's this. Okay. So we need to actually fix this beacon. And now we do all of this one last time. Ooh, and this area has reset as well. I'll take these horseshoes. Let's go to Shadowspire. Let's go back to Ravenshore. We're in January now. Go to Shadowspire. Go to Ravenshore. Go to Shadowspire. And we're going to overshoot our target a little bit, because we needed it to be the 18th. It's going to be the 21st, so we're wasting a couple of days, but really I don't care. Because the important thing is, this is going to be our last session of saves coming up, and I really don't care about map resets after this. Excuse me, at all, like at all. So it doesn't matter that we're wasting a few days on the next reset. All right. So what do? We just cast Recall Beacon until this gives us the game of endurance. Until This gives us the game of oh, no, not endurance. The game of accuracy. Did I seriously? I was looking at. So, oh, okay. Wow. Did it give us accuracy the first time as well? It must have. I think it did. So, okay. On my list, accuracy is right under endurance. I think I made my list in the same order as they did here, and like they're both long words, and it's been a long episode, and I wasn't looking at it carefully enough, but we have actually gotten our last game. It is done. Let me make a note of that on my sheet of paper. I nearly fumbled this badly, but we've done it, and now you should be seeing on the screen right now a completely filled out table confirming that we have done every single game, every single contest, every single test, and every single challenge that there is, and it's a good feeling. Now, we are done with this episode. I'm not doing anything else. We're going to be closing things off soon. Before I close off, there are a couple things I want to do. First of all, I want to talk about why I'm doing this exercise and to justify it a little bit. Because most people who play this game do not care about these things at all. They get them when they can, but they don't make it a point to get all of them. The reason I'm getting all of them is because I'm doing this series as a 100% run, and for me, while looting everything or, you know, getting all the horseshoes, while that is not a requirement for me doing this game to 100%, the reason those things aren't a requirement is because they will keep respawning indefinitely. Like, enemies will keep coming back, loot will keep refreshing, horseshoes will keep coming back. You can take your skill points, if you have the time, to whatever arbitrarily high number you can take it to, as long as the game's integer count goes that high. You can take these things as high as you want. So for things that will keep coming back infinitely, I don't really care too much about those. But for things that you can only collect once, I do consider those to be collectibles, and these ones, because the game does keep track of which game, contest, test, and challenge you've done, they do feel like a proper collectible. And that's why I couldn't just sit by and not make it a point to get all of them. So that's the rationale there. The other collectible in the same vein is the black potions. The game will keep track and will only allow you to drink one per stat per character. So each character will be able to drink 7, one for each stat. Well, they can drink more than that, but only the first one will actually have an effect. So that's the other extra kind of collectible. But that's easier to do because you can just brew potions. For these, you have to wait for the map to reset before you can get another one. Okay, so that was one thing. The other thing was, as promised, I'm going to cast my buffs. I'm going to cast Death Protection, even though we don't really need it. I'm going to cast Hour of Power as well. And we've done a lot of training in this episode. And one upshot of that is our characters have become much stronger. You can even have one more point into Dragon Ability. And I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back to Ravenshore. Veteranus, you were a crucial part of today's episode. We couldn't have done it without you. You know, we needed Lloyd's Beacon to be able to do this in a way that wasn't completely maddening.
Welcome, adventurer.
But sadly, now we need to let you go. Because we need to bring
Welcome, adventurer.
Leanne back into our party. Looks like she doesn't have the buffs. So I'm just gonna cast the spells again. Death protection. Because what I promised earlier in this episode was that as a reward for me, for you, for all of us, for getting through this long and brutally tedious exercise, we'll end by looking at just what kind of damage Leanne Stormlance can do. With all those points we put into Arms Master, plus all of these buffs, which are even stronger because of all the points we put into Light Magic. Alright, let's see. Let's start with me, of course. I do 112 to 118. Not fantastic. Not great. What about you? 148 to 156. Better. Better. What about you? Yours isn't affected by the light magic, so it's only the skill points we've put into it, but still, it's a pretty good amount of damage. On average, you're doing 470 or like around 230 points of damage. That's pretty crazy. You are doing pretty okay damage, plus extra damage from the daggers, the light and dark damage, and you are doing now this is what I wanted to see. 240 to 264, a little bit of extra damage from the halberd as well. That's beautiful. Per hit. And it's a shame that we're not going to have a chance to use that damage right now. Well, we wouldn't anyway because it's been a long episode and I'm not going to drag it any longer. But you know what? Because we haven't done it all series, I think next episode we will see this these huge increases we've gotten to our combat potential. We'll see that in action, because I think next episode we are going to do some arena combat. It's not required, it's like there's no quest that tells you to do it, it's just a fun extra thing, but I figure in a completionist series like we should do it at least once. And I think more appropriate than that would be to have an episode dedicated to it. So next episode we're gonna see what the game has that can stand up to these huge numbers. And I think it's gonna be a fun time. But yes, that is gonna be all for this episode. Thank you so much for watching. Although I would not blame you if you either skipped this episode entirely or just skipped to the end or just had it running in the background. Regardless, I'm just glad you were around, because it is a pretty important moment for the series. The grind is over. Now the only things left are fun things, the quests, the secrets, and the end game. Well, I guess the only quests are the end game. Like, you know, the secrets, you know, extra fun things like arena combat. So yes, the grind is done. There's only fun left to be had. But yes. So once again, thank you so much for watching. If you've been enjoying the series, of course, do consider subscribing. And, you know, until the next time, Take care.